time in the foster care system. I've been mostly in long-term facilities, mental health facilities, because I was displaying behaviors that they thought were not appropriate for regular foster homes or for a real family. So I think one of the biggest impacts, the message that I got from foster care was that if you go into a system because your parents did something wrong and you didn't do anything wrong, the system then punishes you for how you react to what happened to you. And I think that's how I felt when I was in the system. I felt like me being sad, me acting out because I didn't have my mother, me acting out because I was being placed in placements where I felt that I was imprisoned and felt like there were people that were taking care of me that did not care about me, that did not love me, that did not have any interest in what I became in life. They gave me medications instead of really seeing what the actual behavior was caused for. You know, instead of looking at Kim is sad and Kim is not adapting to this placement, they said, well, you know, this behavior is not appropriate. We're not going to tolerate this, and we need to know how we can control this behavior. They tried to control the symptoms that I had from being, you know, put into the system, from not really adapting to a life in locked facilities. Nobody should be in a locked facility, but especially not a child. And I think really, if I look at it, if I was not displaying any type of behavior, then maybe that would have been abnormal. Maybe then you would have thought, there's something wrong with this child. She's not crying. She got taken away from her mother. She's just playing with all the kids. You know, she's not in touch with reality because really she doesn't know these kids. She just captured them. And those were the things that maybe would have, in my opinion, would have made them think that there was something wrong with me. But how I reacted was normal. I was sad. I was taken away from my home. I was placed in placements that had green walls and barred windows and 4-point restraints. And because of that, they felt that medication was the right way to treat me. And I don't say this to say that medication is not needed in society and needed for some youth that need treatment in that manner. I'm saying this because from 8 to 18, I was never one day off of medication. And in my opinion, I have a 4-year-old son. If my son was placed on medication, first I would not want to put him on medication. But if he was on placement on medication, I would have goals of having him being taken off of medication and see to whatever situation he is in. Being in foster care and being on medication for over 10 years and not really knowing why you're on medication or how you can adapt off of medication is, in my opinion, chemical abuse. You know, from age 8 to 18, being on medication made me feel as though I was dependent on yet another system. Not only was I in a dependency system, but now I'm dependent on medication. I'm dependent on therapists to tell me that I'm okay. I'm dependent on staff members to tell me how to live my life. I'm dependent on this court system to tell me what path I'm supposed to take in my life. And at age 18, when I signed myself out of the system, I signed myself out against medical advice. They felt that my prospects were that I would be committed in a long-term adult facility, or I would be successful in committing suicide. Gladly, I had an advocate that worked hard in making sure that that didn't happen. And at age 18, shortly after that, of course, I was homeless like most youth. I was homeless, got into a lot of things, and about 6 months after I was 18, I took myself off of medication. And from that time to this date, now being 25, I've never ever displayed any type of suicidal ideation, no self-mutilation, no hallucinations, no homicidal ideations, no disorientations, none of those things. I'm a proud mother of a 5-year-old son. I'm a great mother. I'm a student. I'm an advocate. And I never knew how much I could be because I was stimulated by a substance that hid me from who I was, that tried to define me, but a system that kind of looked at me as a troublemaker instead of looking at me as a child that has come out of a troublesome situation and is just reacting to her environment. And to me, I think we're lost if we're sending the message to youth that if you cry, you're depressed. That if you act out in school, you have a behavioral problem. You know, we're so quick to put all these diagnoses on these children for just being normal, a lot of times normal adolescents, normal children, but maybe because of their situation it looks abnormal. Because of the, you know, being in a home where you have people that are hired to take care of you instead of people that are really wanting to take care of you, they see you as a problem instead of seeing you as a child that needs help and that needs love and that needs attention. And I just would like to tell you guys, you know, youth in foster care, one, are over-medicated, over-diagnosed, and if we don't change this, then we're gonna have another generation of youth that are dependent on these substances, and another generation of youth that are seen as problems instead of seen as children coming out of problemsome situations. And if we don't change that, then we're gonna lose a lot of foster youth. And a lot of foster youth right now are still having the stigmas and residues of that psychotropic medication, or that whole mind frame of your behavior needs to be controlled by substances, or your behavior is not tolerable and therefore we're going to label you. And for me, I'm 25 years old, and if I were to put down on my job applications every diagnosis that I've had, nobody would see me as a credible individual that's stable enough to sustain myself in society, yet even have a child to take care of. And that's sad, because it doesn't follow, it doesn't just stay in the system. These diagnoses follow you throughout your life. These medications that you've been put on, I mean, they have so many different adverse side effects. And what's something interesting I learned shortly after I got out of care, the reason I took myself off of psychotropic medication was because I had become pregnant. And I thought, okay, I went to my psychologist and I asked them, I said, is this medication, is there any research to say this medication will hurt my fetus? And they said, well, no, but then there's no research to say that it's healthy either. So at that moment, I became mature though. You know, I said, wow, I can't just trust that this medication's been given to me. I need to do research. I need to make a decision for myself and for my fetus. And at that time, that's when I said I couldn't take that medication anymore, because I knew that this could be hurting me and I couldn't let that hurt my child. So it's just interesting to know that it took an 18-year-old girl that's been in a system that has made all her decisions for her for over 10 years to make one decision for herself that changed the rest of her life. So thank you for your time.